Hello cats and kittens, Mama Cat Gamer here. I am checking sound levels real quick. Let me welcome everyone to the chat, too. And sorry for the delay in that. I had like a weather alert come across my stream just as I started the stream. And I had to get that looked at because we're under an enhanced risk for severe weather today. All right. Let's send my retainers out. I like to send them out every hour. Send them out on these quick explorations and bring back pretty good stuff. Bouncers, gloves. Sometimes they bring back really cool gear too that you really can't get much different ways. Ah, it's a level 1 thing that all classes can wear. See what those look. Not what I meant to do. I meant to try on. Well, this actually look pretty good. I'm gonna put those in my glamour chest. That'll look great with a ninja outfit. All right, let's speak with Tataru in Mordona. She doesn't look like she's actually in Mordona there, does she? She looks like she's going on an expedition, doesn't she? I don't want to examine myself. I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones and named her for luck and prosperity. It's like, when did you learn shipwriting? In her copious spare time before learning to be a tailor and a chef. I don't know, what else does she do? Secretary? Yeah, I can hear the sound. I'm good. Alisaie says, Tataru, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Raha says, our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship. I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin keeper. I'd also introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's all right, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Alisaie. Enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard! Raha says, did I ever mention that I was fond of flying? Because I am. Be it on an airship, an Amuro, or a chocobo, there's nothing so exhilarating as feeling the wind on your face as the horizon unfolds before you. I enjoy flying very much too. Alisaie says, honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Alisaie, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of this place justice. No. No, he didn't. So this is where you had your reckoning with Thornton. I wish I'd been with you. Let's see, we can get silky pudding, herring pie, or oven meatballs. Rahatia surveys his surroundings with an expectant glint in his eye. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Alisaie, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Thanks for the reminder, you know, because it actually has been a while since we were last in Heavensward. Let's fly over there, actually. Since we can. Alisaie says, time for our authority on Allagan artifacts to show what he can do. Yep. And here is the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Ah, there we are. Iconic corruption and overview. That sounds promising. Raha says, indeed. Let us see what this report has to say. Confounded. The contents appear to have been deleted. Alisaie says, what? No. Isn't there something you can do? Raha says, not from here, I'm afraid, but it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is, where to look? Alisaie says, it says here the copy was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details at Habisphere Control. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. Alisaie says, I forgot. You already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship, then. We'll see you at the Habisphere. Alright. It would be nice if they had Ethernet shards here. It really would. Especially since I completely forgot where all we have to go. To get to where we need to go, you know? Matter conduit 2 to 3. Okay. That'll save us a little bit of a ride, I guess. Alright, now we can fly again. I don't suppose this unlocks anything, does it? Nope. Alisaie says, the mana cutters appear to be ironworks made, but I dare say Tataru will craft her own soon enough. Raha said, if the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There, from what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Administrative note says, warning, an evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Habisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical, returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example? That's so Alisaie. Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continent. You seem to recall. Are you honestly telling me that was in the records too? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much Allagan knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, 'tis more exhilarating than I can well express. Yev's going, cool. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the ether is stagnant. Alisaie says, now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? The boys are going, what, wait, what? Okay, why not? Rahatia says, very well. It would be my honor to come third. He's just glad to be out and about and on an adventure. Alright, let's, okay, we gotta fly over there. My kitten is happily sleeping on my desk. Okay, we got our stagnant ether shard. Let's go back. Oops. I needed to actually pick it up. Okay. Oops. Disembodied voices. Bravo! That was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. Who are you? Show yourself at once, or what? No dramatic entrance? You've changed, or very funny, now let's get back to work. Ah, you remember that? In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you had better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. Thank you, Gav, for bringing me here. That's okay, Graha. We'll have many more together. Okay. Let's go back to the herbisphere. Whatever. Habisphere, that's what it's called. Or the door to the Habisphere? Not sure. Alright, let's talk to Alisaie. You have a shard? Then you win. I searched high and low, but couldn't find so much as a trace of stagnant ether. It appears Alisaie had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? Concentrated lightning shard that fairly dances with the concentrated energy it harbors. Handle with care. Some of these descriptions are hilarious. Alisaie says, what is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? Cat ears? Raha says, that is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Gav, not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. Raha says, excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, they would make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Alisaie says, assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. Raha says, I promise. Wish me luck. Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. Alisaie says, I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphino's was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charleon's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in a direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief. And I admire him for it. Raha says, I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Allagan civilization as depicted in folklore. And he says, oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. Raha said, I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldesion convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Alisaie gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Graha says, yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored here in this device. Shall we find out? Look, initializing, scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Graha, you do the honors? Look, verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Unai said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. Oop, one item found. Iconic corruption and overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Alisaie says, well, go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right. Let's see. Glory be to Alag. Probably not that one. Graha's going. Long live Emperor Zandy. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now. Passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... Password. Gavin going, what? The notion that the password could be something so inane could be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that thing just call me? Wild Rose, why not? Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Graha says, now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it is them. Yev's going, of course. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. Alisaie says, fine, I'll let Sid try his hand first, but if it doesn't work, we're doing it my way. The archive nodes. Threat detected. Graha seems eager to bear the node away, reviving the legacy. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears a friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone. Come, let us be on our way. Yeah, like, he's been away 100 years and not away for 100 years. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? Okay, speak with Graha at the Rising Stones. Go back to Revenant's Toll. Does Keeper of Knowledge have anything for us? You desire an encore? Well, very well, it would be my pleasure. Yevtia, I give you Ultima's Bane. From an era long forgotten, a blade of midnight drawn. From a distant land uncharted, a warrior who bears the dawn. Okay. Does Riel have anything for us? While Thancred and Urianger are off to old Garlemald, I'll keep the information flowing freely between us and the Alliance. After all, close coordination's the key to winning this war. Yep. Riel says, I take it you have news to share. So do I. Taro says, I'm pleased to see your mission was a success and in no small part due to the bonanza. Alisaie says, Krau's back too. I wonder what was decided at the council. Archive node. Flip, large lowborn presence detected. Raha says, wonderful news, Gav. Tataru contacted Sid on our behalf and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should very much like to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryle? Kryle says, as you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the province have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus? Aren't they the ones who took in Yotsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attentions to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Lominzans, in particular, struggle in their efforts with Alphino and Y'shtola, and Alphino and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. Alisaie says, so long as we are dealing with the tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Rahatia says, which is why we must succeed. Tataru says, and on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Okay. Rearrange my seat. Sorry, guys. Process. I understand you took a trip to Azys La. Raha made himself useful, I trust. Tataru says, we've made the respite cozier than ever. You're going to love it. Archive node. Boop, boop. Warning, His Highness is exhibiting elevated blood pressure. Ellie says, as important as Gabu is to me, I know only too well how much more is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. Cid, at long last. Rahatia says, Cid! Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it? Well, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help. So I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Ah, looks like I finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Ha! Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Note, open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend Sephiroth would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Ammon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day someone will undertake it to do that which I could not and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. Oh, Owen. Grahatias says, so not even the Alligans were able to find a cure, or rather were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Ammon's decision. Alisaie says, more importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. Raha said, true. Yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. We could say if we could only make them remember who they were, or so there's no point in reviving their souls unless we can also restore their sense of self. Yeah, let's do that one. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith that had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. Alisaie says, I see, the theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. Rahatia said, they did, you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. Alisaie said, then perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Raha says, your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes as this were built with the ability to simulate magics, which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. Sid says, in theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password, but it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Rahatia says, tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? Sid says, to keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Raha says, not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. Sid says, you two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Wedge says, right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, hey? Ryle says, suffice it to say, I shall be of whatever help I can. Tataru says, all those Magitech terminals won't come cheap. Ugh, shut up, Tataru. Some things you shouldn't put a price on. Oh, that's a change for her. Alisaie says, we're getting there, Gav. One step at a time. Revnodes has nothing to say. Raha says, as with our first foray into the labyrinth of the ancients, we seek to venture into the unknown, and in order to succeed, we require not only knowledge and preparation, but daring besides, just like old times. I'm gonna switch to Summoner here for this. Wait, yeah, so I can get the XP on that. Just in case we enter some battle here. Right, while Grahati and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Rassus, leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. Sid says, in that case, I'll trust Gav and Alisaie with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Sky Steel Manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what we need. Alisaie says, yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. It says, if Alisaie is bound for the ceruleum processing plant, you'll want to take yourself to the Sky Steel Manufactory. Off and go now. Raha says, we will see to the terminals. We will see to it the terminals are ready by the time we return. Let's go to Foundation. Romolo says, you stand in the Sky Steel Manufactory. What is it you require? Ironworks promissory note, issued by Garland Ironworks. Your promissory note is intended for the purchase of the quantity of ceruleum specified thereupon. So you are after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Hey, this is where you pick up the machinist job. I'm going the wrong way. We have to go to the airship landing. Right. Ceruleum, you've come to the right man. Fair warning, though, the price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Got a promissory note. Well, now, promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem, it's as good as gold to me. Yeah, there's...
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find.
By design, I think.
I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you?
Of course.
But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day?
We're picking up some ceruleum.
A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed.
That would be nice, yes.
Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it.
Nice. Very nice. It's good to have friends in high places, right?
In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
It's nice to see the two of them after so long. And hello everyone who's joined. Oh my, look at look at all these Magitech things. Uh-oh. Alisaie doesn't look happy.
Oh, who would have thought cerulean weighed so much?
Oh.
Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Probably, Alisaie. Hey, money.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it. Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
Luck is written into the script, man.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering.
Of course you don't, hero. Of course you don't.
But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
He's such a pompous snot.
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Oh, lordy.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Okay, boys, if we're done with the whizzing match now, can we get on to the important stuff?
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
Alisaie like falling asleep there.
Damn it. It's overloading.
She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Nero.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There!
I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
That was quick.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Right. We got our cure for tempering. Process, so we finally have it, the cure for tempering. All that remains is to put it to use. She'll be praying for your success on the front lines. Tyrus says, in the end, we didn't have to pay for the terminals, which is great for us, but I can't help but feel for my counterpart in the ironworks. Rahatia says, alas, the ironworks crew couldn't linger long. Far too much to do. Yet brief though our time together was, it was bloody good to see them. Oh, Real's gone. Oh, let's see what these guys have to say. That's usually funny. They're in different positions now. Clement says, when we went to deliver the ice shards, we had occasion to speak with Grahatia. Sister says he acts like an old person, but if you ask me, he seems like a perfect gentleman. Aenor says, so I had a little chat with Grahatia. Though he looks as young as any of us, he has the air of an older person about him. I suspect he's seen more than his fair share of trials. Oh, yeah, well, 100 years will do that to you. Coltonay says, Hori challenged you once before, and now he has his sights set upon Grahatia. I fear history is about to repeat itself. Hori says, they say Grahatia is a versatile combatant who excels at all roles in battle. I should very much like to test my blade and shield against him. Ochre Boulder. There's nothing quite like basking in the glow of brothers' fighting spirit. We must make this bout with Grahatia happen. Yes, we must. Does Efemi have anything else? If you see Real, he has left... Oh, if you seek Real, he is left to visit each of the allied armies. Link Pearl conversations are well and good, he said, but there's no substituting face-to-face meetings for strengthening cooperation. Yeah, that and body language can tell you much more than the telephone can. You pick out honey croissants, lemon waffles, or stuffed Highland cabbage. I think lemon waffles actually might be something needed by as turn-ins. Alisaie has only one thing on her mind. At long last, we have our cure. Rahatia says, in theory at any rate, we cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof, but I am quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. It'll be fine, I'm sure of it, or as long as you exercise due caution. And Gav cares about Alisaie. Yes, as well as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado, then, let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gabu waiting long enough. Says, I doubt I could contribute much towards what comes next, so I will cheer you on from afar. Best of luck with the treatment. Dara says, we'll all be praying for your success. Let's go to Maelstrom Command. I like how when you're like out in the elements, their clothes look like they're wet. I mean, that's a nice subtlety. Well done, artist. Well done. Tis plain Alisaie is very fond of Gabu. To the extent that I have a hand in it, I shall do all in my power to bring him back. Alisaie says, well, this is the moment of truth. I'll have our host bring Gabu to us at once.
Apologies for the wait.
Gabu, have you been good?
Gabu doesn't say anything.
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment?
Yes, there is.
Using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I for one would be glad to assist.
Me too.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission then, let us begin. Yes, this will do. And now, it's my turn. is done.
No small amount indeed.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allegans did not. It was never like to be easy.
Fair.
The rest is up to you, Alisaie. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
I go over to the Drunken Wench, eat a little dinner, have a few beers of, you know, the usual. Just kind of chilling out here. Still says, Alisaie will succeed, I am certain of it. We need but have faith. Well, this seems as good a spot as any to have a rest.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Alisaie refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion.
Yeah, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, right? So. And ideally complement each other. Well, if it's any consolation, she's in awe of your work, or don't tell me, tell her. Oh, that's more Gav. Don't tell me, tell her.
I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire.
Probably true.
Alisaie, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
I think it worked.
Gaboo!
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Alisaie's and everyone's. and I found that I could remember one thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Alisaie. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Alisaie was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gaboo. But the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Alisaie. Thank you.
Oh, that was sweet. I'm gonna take the silver pieces. Alisaie says, "We did it! We brought Gaboo back! And if I have any say in the matter, he'll be the first of many." Trust Alisaie to say that. Alfina says, "You may recall that in order to procure the ingredients for Angelo, we had no choice but to surrender ourselves to the whims of the pixies. But I should have done so with far better grace had I known what we would go on to achieve." Raha says, "Alisaie will be exhausted from her efforts, but you wouldn't think so to look at her now. She's ready to press on, and if she is ready to press on, then so am I." The trace of a wry smile is visible on Y'shtola's lips, like master, like pupil. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first, but this seems as good a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave. Alright, speak with Y'shtola in the ruling quarter. It'll shear. Up on our mount. Alfino says, it's been some time since Master Matoya last saw Y'shtola. What a lot they will have to talk about. Alisaie says, do you remember when last we came here? It was to find out why the others had collapsed. If someone had told me then that they had been whisked away to another world, I would probably have laughed in their face. You live and learn, eh? Rahatia, Master Matoya is something of a legend among Archons. I very much look forward to meeting her, if not the dressing down I am liable to receive for my inept attempts at summoning you. Y'shtola, I take it you are ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil? Very well. Joyous reunion will be snarking back and forth at each other. Idleshire.
Nary a word from you all this time. Then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
Joyous reunion, as we expected.
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I am told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away. And for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
It's like, Alfino, you weren't supposed to say that. It's like,
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
Just happened to be the first name.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Alisaie's going, oh, how could you, Alfino?
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
Herb is gonna go, Alfino, you weren't supposed to tell her.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Rahatia is my name, and I am proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
We don't expect much of the younger generation, so, we can ignore their problems.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day.
I have brooms to send sweeping. Let me explain this flying pig to you. When pigs fly.
So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxies with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were.
Why not?
Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
Oh, what does Alphino say? A porxie that produces porxie. What an inspired idea. By the way, Gav, do you think I misspoke earlier? I assure you it was not my intention to embarrass anyone. Yeah, you did. Moldy old hole. She really must miss the place. In case you've ever wondered, Alphino got his innocent streak from our mother, and it can be rather endearing, even useful in certain situations, but most of the time, it just makes me want to shake him. Poor Y'shtola. We'll get to meet his mother in the future. Grahatia says, where does she mean, do you think? Some manner of hidden workshop, perhaps? Matoya says, all right, off to my old workshop then. Everything required to make you familiar is there. Y'shtola says, that may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what has become of it. Maybe. If we're about to do a dungeon, yeah, I'll definitely invite you. Y'shtola says, that may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what has become of it. Matoya says, oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars and mayhap a monster or two, but nothing to trouble the likes of you. You can consider cleaning up the place payment for my help. Alisaie says, fine, we'll do it. Matoya says, good girl. Now, if there are no other objections, I suggest you run along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my Paragos ahead to let you into the workshop. You need only tell him who you are. One can't be too careful after all. Off you go. What are you still doing here? Off to the Maker's Quarter with you. I'll join you when I'm ready. Go on now, shoo. Speak with Puro Rago in the Maker's Quarter. We're down here. I think it'll be faster to go to Idoshir and go to the Maker's Quarter from there. Kind of a cool looking effect there. The sparks coming off there. Alfino says, as I may have mentioned, Alisaie and I were still very young when we departed with the Exodus. I envy Y'shtola for remembering the city as it once was. Alisaie says, the grass could certainly do with a trim. Okay, that wouldn't have been the top of my mind, but all right. Y'shtola, the workshop was an unforgiving place even before the Exodus, and I doubt the years of neglect have improved it. Rahatia says, judging by the unruly state of the flora without, I think it's safe to assume there will be no shortage of unruly fauna within. Add to that the undisturbed secrets of the workshop, we have the makings of an adventure. All right. Rogo the Unwashed. Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relict. Rago is my name, and I am honored to be your guide. Within you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern wherein the requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, that the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, in over 15 years, and will, I regret, be in some disarray. But rest assured, my brothers and I shall see to it that you do not lose your way. Now then, Ribbit, only say the word and I will show you in. Watoya's Relict, now accessible. Are you ready, Ribbit? But give me the word and I will show you in. I think I want to change for this. See if anybody else is on. Yeah, if you want to come, I just opened it up. I'm going to change, though. Awesome. While you're doing that, I'm going to check on the weather. So we had a tornado watch issued. the time of year where I live at, we have to start watching out for really bad weather. Not that I mind though, because one of these years I might do a tornado chase vacation because I'm insane. Come join the party. Hang on, I'll be right back. I had to let my family know I probably want to clear out the garage to put both cars in it tonight because we could get, you know, baseball-size hail. All right, let me cue us. Got 5 minutes left on my food buff. Let me look at the. We'll do it when we get out. We have a. By the way, if you don't have a free company, let us know. Put a link to the lodestone entry in the description when I get done here. Oh, that was quick. Good job. That was slick. That was really slick.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Pirogos say, or you'll wish you had.
Oh, wish you had. Yep's going, what have you got us into this time, Latoya? We want to get out of that. Ooh! I put up a video on how to use your UI in combat. Yeah, tell him I'll call him back. Sonny of Ziggy. I put a UI video to show you how I set up my UI and what things to enable and disable, because a couple of things are not enabled by default, like our focus target cast bar. This thing that I got going right here. Which I think is the dumbest thing ever. They really needed to have that enabled by default. So that's such an important element to have showing. So I would normally hit my Shadow of Death right away, but if you have these things procced, like Guillotine or Petrified Pete, like Gallows or Gibbet or Guillotine, if you have those procced and you hit any other skill, it will kill that skill. I mean, it won't go off. You'll lose it. We're taking these little balls of peat over by the holes so they get sucked in. Oh, we gotta take it over to a place where you don't have the dude, like, coming out of it. Very nice. So I've got Guillotine, Gallows, and Gibbet up. I got 16 seconds to get to the next thing where I can use it. Gallows, Gibbet, and Guillotine, I think help me build my soul gauge. Some jobs you can hit skills while you're running. And melee is one of those, usually. Another lift. Ribbit, just a moment. So I got a full soul gauge and death gauge, so that's lets me get 2 enshrouds. Which I'm going to happily use now. Crash smash. Aha, such fun. More water. We need more water. We're gonna go up here. We need to go up on the clouds here. And we stay here because she's flushing the toilet here. Dink. Whoop. Wasn't paying attention there. And my camera scrolled too far down. Alright, I give up, you win. Thought you just had to stand in it, you actually have to right click it. Fiery portal. Hi, sweetie. All right, kitty. Little magma can't stop us, Ribbit. You should like this one, Zenith. It has frogs in it. Fiery battle, that wasn't. I don't mean the magma. Your destination awaits. That takes care of the kiln, Ribbit. All right, it's time to bake ourselves a porksy. Okay. Got our cutscene here.
Right then, let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
I love Master Matoya. Porcine porcelain, Mother Porksy. Don't show any fear, they can smell it. Tenderloin is the name of the skill. Some of the names of these skills casting are hilarious. You want to get knocked back, so don't use your anti-knockback here. Because you want to be knocked into that center circle. Oh, thank you, tank. Thank you. Okay, we gotta... Your goal is to, like, keep running straight. So they're... Keep moving forward so you don't get pulled back. The tank turned the boss so I could hit my positionals. job, boss. Or tank. Okay, so we want to remember where she's at here. Because we want to get knocked back into that circle. When I'm fighting on a melee, I stay right in this corner between the rear and the flank. Because then I only have to like sidestep. I don't have to worry about positionals when I'm enshrouded. Alright, we did it! Oh, we get the joy ear wiggle this time. Yay! The last few times we haven't gotten a joyful ear wiggle. Oh, they left before I could calm anybody. Have we finished then? She's twitching. Is that normal? Quite a fight she put up. Nothing quite like a kiln fresh familiar. I never knew familiar. Oh, I gotta see what that is. I gotta move farther away from him so he'll recharge there. I've never knew familiar creation could be so rough. Okay.
There we are. Quite tame.
Look at that little snort in there. Yeah, it is a fun dungeon.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more. That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some proxies. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say. Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the Mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone, we're a step closer to our goal.
Distributed amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
Yeah, probably.
In addition to the Porksies, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
Matoya! Oh my goodness. Just twist that knife in there.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
And your Stola gives back as good as she gets. I love it.
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
Nice. Very nice. This is actually a very beautiful piece of music. Very ethereal. Raha says, "Forgive me if this is a silly question, but of all creatures real and imagined, why choose a flying pig? Not that I dislike pigs, mind you." Alisaie says, "Given it was her first time making a porksy, Master Matoya did a fine job, although she did have Angelo for inspiration." Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with Y'shtola. They are as peas in a pod, are they not? Yep. You may now enter Matoya's relic with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, open the Trust interface located under Duty in the main menu. Let's see. Brilliant minds, rapier wits, humor drier than Thanalan. Appearances aside, I'd say the two Matoyas are mirror images of each other. Yep, yeah, they are. Graha said, "As I followed your deeds through history, I came across the names of a great many distinguished individuals, such as Commander Hext and Master Matoya, and it has been a delight to meet them in the flesh. I heartily look forward to making the acquaintance of the rest, not least the Azure Dragoon." Alfino is eager to deliver the good tidings to Limsa, the Admiral's resolve. Well then, my friends, let us return to Limsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in Bulwark Hall should be sufficient to secure us an audience. Speak with Xanthael on the lower decks of Limsa. I wonder if that did anything in my Wondrous Tales. No, because I'm above that level. Can only do up to 60. Okay. Why, Captain Tia, ever a welcome sight. Tidings for the Admiral, you say? She's presently receiving guests, but for the Scions, I know she'll make an exception. Follow me. My friends, what brings you here this day? Says Merlvib. Alphino goes about explaining. Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I've been in awe of you scions, I would not have thought it possible. Alisaie says, and yet it is, Admiral. We've done it, here in Limsa. And production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks, truly. This will do much to advance the cause of peace. Yet I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beastmen. Ah, even to speak thus divides us. Ah, welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. Or if those summoning in the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. 'Twas I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Lumensans have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahagin for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen, and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbren than my own people sought to thwart me. Alphino says, you speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. Aye, acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the 3 pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. Alphino says, I am given to understand that their leader, Captain Kilifir, has been bedridden for some while with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads, a man named Sicard, but recently risen to prominence among their ranks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We have invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned naught of any value. We could say leave it to us or nothing. Gav's gonna say leave it to us. Alisaie says, we have a nose for the truth. Whatever the Sicard wants, we'll find out. And the boys nod their heads yes. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn then. Good luck. All right. We are going to leave it here for now, for this week. We got quite a bit done, actually. And I got to go make dinner with the family. So let's get to our cat joke real quick. All right. Did you hear about the cat that almost fell off a cliff? This is our cat joke for today. Did you hear about the cat that almost fell off a cliff? It lived to tell the tale. Lived to tell the tale. Yes. Alright, cats and kittens, check out the UI video if you need help setting up your UI. I think definitely play with your character and system configurations. It's in the system button on the end of your red buttons there. Super helpful. Control U to get to your UI. If you need that help, definitely play around with them. Set it up to make it more easy for you to get through. I'll be working on some more videos. Gonna do some combat markers and action videos for y'all. That should be hopefully done fairly soon. And Saturday night we will be going back to what are we going back to? It's Recollection. We're doing this Extreme Trial Recollection, which is Selenia. Fun fight. We haven't got, nobody's gotten any wing drops yet, so we're hoping that that'll happen this time. We've gotten several clears, so that's, we're making progress in there. And hopefully we'll just be cleaning it up even more and getting more clears so that we can get those wings. All right. And next week we'll be back with Gavtia again. So, happy Easter to all of you who celebrate this coming weekend. And may you have a blessed rest of the Holy Week. And you have a great one, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer is signing off.